Ilia seems to be on a collision course to Paddy Pimblett. But Arman Tsarukyan universally is considered the most dangerous guy. Is Ilia getting protected by not facing Arman now by the UFC? Or is it something else, Shale?
Islam Makhachev lit a fire under the lightweight division when he accused Ilia Topuria of steering clear of Arman tsarukyan.
Я хотел задать вопрос Исламу. Считаешь ли ты Армана самым серьезным соперником для Ильи? И не кажется ли тебе, что Топурия избегает его?
Ну, что избегает, не секрет, я уже видел.
The reigning lightweight king didn't hold back, insisting that Topuria has been avoiding the Armenian contender and even pointing out that fans online have noticed the same thing. Makhachev's remarks stirred up an already tense situation as Tsarukyan has been loudly demanding his shot at the belt, while Topuria has been reluctant to entertain the matchup. The claim that Topuria would rather hang up his gloves than face Arman only added fuel to the fire, sparking a wave of debate across the MMA world.
В интернете, где он говорит, я лучше завершу карьеру, чем буду с ним драться. И я думаю на данный момент, что Арман набрал хорошие обороты, и это самый серьезный экзамен для чемпиона.
On the heels of those statements, Khabib Nurmagomedov weighed in with his own strong take. The former undefeated champion and UFC Hall of Famer didn't give Topuria much of a chance against Tsarukyan. From his perspective, Arman's range management, his effective use of kicks, and his growth as an all-around fighter make him the most dangerous opponent out there. Khabib acknowledged that Topuria is far more cautious now than a few years ago, but he still felt that the Spanish-Georgian champion would fall short if matched up with Arman. In fact, Khabib went as far as calling Tsarukyan the best lightweight in the sport right now, showing just how high his confidence in Arman's abilities truly is.
Давай предположим, что все случилось, Tsarukyan с Topuria дерутся. Ты кого видишь фаворитом в этом бою?
Я не вижу шансов у Topuria.
То есть ты считаешь, что
Я
Арман
ему
нападает,
подарки
да?
тоже не даю. Арман слишком дистанционно дерется. С ударниками держит дистанцию хорошо, ногами лучше работает. И сейчас уже Арман слишком хорошо, у него есть материал, который он может посмотреть и хорошо изучить. Если 3 боя назад, если он с ним дрался, может, он не так опасался. Но сейчас уже видно то, чего можно опасаться от Topuria. Я считаю, что в данный момент лучший боец в легком весе это Topuria.
Ты про Tsarukyan.
Да, я про
Tsarukyan. Выиграет он при этом за счет борьбы, правильно?
За счет ММА стиля.
Но,
это не вольная борьба.
Но будет проходить, да?
Арман может повалить, у него хорошие локти в партере. Очень хороший локти. Может бороться, разбаривать, спину забирать.
Daniel Cormier couldn't have disagreed more. After hearing Khabib's claim that Tsarukyan would win 8 times out of 10 against Topuria, Cormier called that line of thinking outrageous. He reminded everyone that Topuria remains undefeated and has done so in dominant fashion, with recent knockout victories over 3 icons, Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira. Cormier argued that it's impossible to dismiss Topuria's rise. He admitted Tsarukyan's wrestling and physicality could pose a challenge, but he thought comparing the matchup to the kind of dominance Khabib and John Jones once had was a stretch. For Cormier, the sheer fact that Topuria has never lost means putting him on the losing side of an 80-20 prediction just doesn't add up.
Ilia seems to be on a collision course to Paddy Pimblett. But Arman tsarukyan universally is considered the most dangerous guy. Is Ilia getting protected by not facing Arman now by the UFC? Or is it something else, Shale?
I will tell you, they did that Paddy the Baddy face-off. They ran that marketing back. They pulled that off SportsCenter. Dana said if I was cage side, I'd never even put him in there. Yep. It felt to me like they were going with Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan cuts an interview last week, says that Ilia is going to be out till 2026. Now talk about himself, says, I've already waited too long. I'm going to try to get in there in November, December, even though there was no opponent named. What do you know about Paddy the Baddy?
Arman said he's going to wants to fight in November. Ilia's not back till 26. How long is Ilia going to wait? Like, how long are they going to wait for Ilia Topuria to fight when he fought in July?
Meanwhile, Demetrius Johnson also joined the conversation, though his focus was a little different. Johnson wasn't as concerned with odds, but with fairness. He strongly believed that Tsarukyan is the rightful next challenger. After all, Arman is the #1 contender and has already proven himself with a razor-close split decision win over Charles Oliveira earlier in the year. On top of that, he was even the backup fighter for the title bout at UFC 317, successfully making weight, but ultimately not competing. Seeing seeing Paddy Pimblett get lined up for a face-off with Topuria instead left Johnson unimpressed. For him, pushing Pimblett into the mix felt like more of a reality show stunt than a true sports decision, especially since Tsarukyan has clearly earned the chance to fight for the belt.
Like, I don't think he's just going to risk going into where Arman's good just to prove a point.
No, I think he's going to knock Arman out. I don't think he cares to wrestle with anybody. I think he's going to get himself to the right spot and try to knock everybody out.
Khamzat Chimaev also spoke on the matter, adding his own unique perspective since he has trained with both Topuria and Tsarukyan. For him, this fight feels inevitable. Having Arman in his corner at UFC 319 gave Chimaev first-hand insight into his skills, while his time with Topuria showed him just how dangerous the champion can be. From Chimaev's point of view, both men represent the very top of the lightweight division, and their clash will answer once and for all who deserves to be called the best in the world. He broke down the matchup by pointing out Arman's movement, kicking game, and wrestling versus Topuria's powerful striking and jiu-jitsu. Though he didn't make a direct prediction, Chimaev made it clear this is the fight fans need to see, hoping it finally happens before the year ends.
To work with him, like he's good on everyone, wrestling, grappling, and mindset. He's a professional in this sport, so, and a good guy. We met in Thailand, and this reality as well, we work together there. We become friends.
We know you're kind of friends with Ilia too, and you're friends with Arman. Do you see them fighting this year?
I hope so. It's a good fight for the both guys. So we need to know who is the best fighter in the world. So the both guys is best fighters. So I will be happy to watch that fight. Arman is good moves. Like he has a good kick, good wrestling, and the other guy has a good jiu-jitsu, a good puncher, so it would be cool.
Henry Cejudo, never one to stay quiet on divisive topics, directed his frustration not just at Topuria, but also at the UFC itself. He criticized the champion for allegedly threatening to vacate the title rather than grant Arman the opportunity, and called the promotion out for being more interested in entertainment than merit. Cejudo didn't shy away from pointing out that the UFC seems more invested in setting up a flashy fight with Pimblett than giving Tsarukyan the shot he deserves. He even poked fun at Pimblett, saying that if beating someone like Michael Chandler, who has a solid but not flawless record, is enough to earn a title shot, then the promotion really is putting spectacle ahead of sport.
But to go back to it, Arman's doing a really good job of just trolling him, and it's to the point where I did a really good video on it yesterday. That shit went viral, man. I mean, Arman collaborated, a lot of these guys, Bisping, Cormier, Paul Felder, dude, everybody and their damn mama, they want to see that fight. They don't want to see a fight with Paddy the Baddy, man. And then Arman getting on the Nelk Boys podcast, and then he's saying that he'll never give Arman a chance, for the belt. He'll rather relinquish that. The UFC one does not want to hear that, man. Once you start thinking you're bigger than the UFC, you start to become public enemy number one. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, even though you are a champion, you do have 2 belts, you still don't hold leverage as you do. So if I'm a guy like Ilia Topuria, and he did the right thing, and even I'm gonna give you an example. Even Cormier, when Cormier mentioned it to Bisping, he was like, okay, Bisping, you had a chance to fight Yoel Romero, but what did Bisping do? And he said it to Bisping. It says you went after GSP, the bigger name, but the easier fight. Not saying that GSP is easy, but if you had your poison of picking Yoel Romero or GSP, I'm going with GSP, so it was exactly what Bisping did.
Charles Oliveira, who has faced both men in the octagon, gave a more balanced view. He acknowledged the clash would be a tough matchup between Tsarukyan's grappling and Topuria's striking, but leaned slightly toward Topuria having the better chance of winning. Based on his own experience, he felt that strong striking can sometimes nullify elite grappling, and Topuria's recent performances are evidence of that. He said, "Man, that's a fight between a solid grappler and a guy with really good striking. I think Arman is a very dangerous dude, super tough, but honestly, I think Topuria has a better shot at winning. Still, it's going to be a hell of a fight."
He thinks that Arman would really beat Ilia in a fight.
Nobody knows this, but Khabib usually he's good, he's smart and he knows fighting. But This time I don't agree with him because Ilia has a good takedown defense. You know, he stops takedown. You know, he's a good wrestler. I train with him and I try to shoot him, take him down, but I can't. You know, he comes forward, he pressures you, and he wants to make you to fight back, you know, like strike with him. But that's where you make mistake. If you strike with him, that's where he got you. So
all of these opinions from legends, champions, and top fighters have created one of the most heated debates in recent UFC history. What makes this situation even more dramatic is Topuria himself. Despite holding 2 belts and being one of the fastest rising stars in the UFC, his comments about rather vacating the title than fighting Tsarukyan have rubbed many the wrong way. For some, it looks like he's chasing easier or more lucrative fights with names like Paddy Pimblett and Islam Makhachev, while avoiding the man most consider his most dangerous opponent. That perception has only fueled more criticism, with fighters and analysts accusing him of trying to play the system instead of proving himself against the division's most deserving contender.
Listen, when you put so much effort in the game and you have a guy in front who you don't know that maybe he could pull out from the fight, that's not something good for us. It's not on my back, bro. I don't care. They're gonna give him a fight before the title shot because there is no way. I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title. I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt. I don't do it.
Fans are left wondering what the UFC will ultimately decide. With 2 cards scheduled in October and a possible return for Topuria in December, the clock is ticking on what could be the promotion's biggest lightweight matchup in years. If the UFC opts to give Pimblett the shot, it will be seen as prioritizing entertainment value over rankings. But if they follow the path of meritocracy, Tsarukyan should be the man stepping into the octagon with Topuria before the year ends. No matter what happens, the stage is set for drama. Topuria's rise has been electric, but with legends, peers, and rivals calling him out for avoiding Tsarukyan, the pressure has never been higher. On the flip side, Arman sits patiently at the top of the rankings, sharpening his skills and waiting for the moment to prove that he's the rightful champion.